Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. My mission, if you don't know me, is to show you how to pay less for every car you get. New cars, used cars, leases, it does not matter. I teach a simple seven-step formula, a simple seven-step formula for you to make sure you never overpay for a car. And the first step is going to be, we're going to make sure we decide whether we should be buying or leasing our next car. The question of buying or leasing your car is a question about how long you're going to keep it. The second thing we do is make sure any car we have right now, we have to get the most money we can for it. That is a big deal. You cannot focus on the car you're buying without focusing on maximizing the value of the car you have right now. If that car was worth 8, but somebody talked you into taking 6, you lost 2,000. So we call that an equity assessment. Then we do something called deal focused budgeting to make sure we know what a great deal should look like. Then we make sure the car we're looking for, we go test drive it. We make sure it's a great car, do some very simple 5-minute research on it on Google. Then we move into step 5, which is getting 5 offers on every car. And then we move into paperwork. Then we take delivery. 99% of that is done from home. And that's why everything we teach is called Cars from Home. In fact, everything we'll be talking about is out my new book. It's a digital book called Cars from Home. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it, and you can get your copy for 75% off in the comment section on YouTube, in my TikTok bio. You will not leave the broadcast. You'll still be able to hear us. And in my Instagram bio and Facebook, we have a link for you to get your copy. So our first question comes from hold on one second. We'll get into our first question. Keep typing your questions, y'all. So Dolan's gonna pull them all in. I just got a message that we're having a little trouble with Facebook here. So our first question though is gonna be from Vanity on TikTok. She says she wants to lease. She wants to do it in her business name though. Okay, great question. We'll get to that in 10 seconds. Hang on one second. Okay, we're on the right page. Boom. Let me see. Got my internet connection. Thursday live. Let's go. While I'm doing this, you should be typing your questions. If you're looking for a new car, if you're looking for a used car, whatever you're looking for, Deshone, I don't even know what should I be looking for. You should be typing those questions to make sure that we can get them answered while we're on here. So let me just make sure. Live. Boom. All right, let's try Facebook again. Facebook might be giving us some trouble, but we don't like to leave anybody out. So let's go. Let's see if we go. All right, looks like Facebook is freezing. All right. I don't think we're going to be able to get around this right now. Broadcast failed. Okay, so we'll focus on YouTube. We'll focus on TikTok. And we'll focus on Instagram for now. We'll figure out Facebook later. Okay. So, and that's a good question. We'll talk about that 50,000 mile a year. That'll be the next question, Dolan. All right. So, Vanity, you want to lease. Let's talk about who leasing is for. Matter of fact, no, you already know you want to lease. So let's focus on what you talked about, want to put it in your business name. So I used to work for Mercedes. Some of you may know that. I used to work for Mercedes for 5 years. I worked for General Motors for 5 years. That's where I started my career. And then I went to Mercedes. I worked there for 5 years. Now, we had a lot of people getting cars in their business name, realtors, people who use the car for business. And then you had commercial leases. Then you had people who did like big business. They were putting cars in their business name and they needed commercial financing. General contractors, electricians, things of that nature. Most people, that's not going to be you. You're like the realtor. You are using your car and you're trying to see, well, can I put it in an LLC? Now, here's the problem that you need to make sure this is not you. We've never seen a day where anyone can come on and make a video, and if that video scratches the people's ear, if it's like, oh, that sounds like something I want to hear, then it could do well, and it could be totally wrong. So we have people telling people you can put cars in your business name, but the car is not going to be used for business. And here's the problem. When the IRS comes to audit you, they're not going to be around. So what you need to make sure of is if you are putting your car in your business name, you're actually using it for business. If you go and you get a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a year in write-offs because the car is in your business name, and then you're audited and they ask you, well, what do you do with the car? And you tell them, well, I deliver cakes to my customers. I have a home business, but I deliver. Okay, great. Okay, that passes the test. Talk to your accountant. Talk to your accountant about this because I'm not an accountant. But if you are a teacher and you're buying a car in your business name and you have this LLC that you haven't really kind of decided what your business plan is, but yet you're writing off mileage or writing off payments or maintenance on your car, you have nothing to prove when they come and audit you. And you're not going to be able to say, well, I saw people. So it's just going to be a bad look. It's going to be very bad for you. So let's prevent that by just making sure that if you're going to buy a car in your business name, you'll be using it for business. That's very simple. And if that's the case, then everything's easy. I didn't even know people were going to put the car in their business name until the deal was done. Most times, like, the realtors, the thing, people would just be like, okay, I'm going to put it in my LLC. Perfect. So what would happen is instead of a normal credit application, you do a business credit application and you be the personal guarantor. Now, some people may tell you, again, there's tons of videos out there. Oh, you can put a car in your business name. You don't have to guarantee it. I don't teach that stuff. I've dealt with people who had fleets of vehicles that could not get a car in their business name without personally guaranteeing it. They had 10, 15 cars. Now, after you get, they might have not known because there's people you don't need that much, but it's not just easy to do. Maybe there's one bank that does, but again, I don't teach that. So if somebody said to you, you can put your car in a business name, no problem, no signing, no personal liability, then I always say go learn from that person how to do that. What bank does it? What car can I buy to do that? But the majority of people you're going to see are putting cars in their business name because they're using it for their job or they have a company, and that's it. Buy your car, learn to get your car to pay the best price for it, and then when they ask, whose name are you putting it in? You're putting it in your LLC's name. Super simple. It's not a hard thing to do. It's really based on your credit, but let me tell you something very important. I learned this the hard way. When I worked for Mercedes-Benz, I had a guy who came in, he bought an S550 from me. And he said, putting in his business name, all good. Now we get to the point where he calls me maybe a couple weeks after, and he says, hey, did the finance manager put the car on my business name? I said, yeah, absolutely. He said, it's still showing on my personal credit. I said, really? Because the whole point of putting the car in the business name is if you have two cars in the business name, the income from the business should be making sure that those $1,000 in car payments don't come off your debt to income. Don't come from your when you go and apply for new credit. If they see, wait, you got all these car payments, we're not giving you any more credit. That's the purpose, is they should not show because they're under the business. But there are certain banks, and in 2019, Mercedes-Benz Financial was one of them, who even if you put the car in your business name, they're showing it on your credit report. And again, that wasn't a happy day for me, but the finance manager didn't know either. So it wasn't even like, it was like, so I've been telling everybody since then, if your goal is to put your car in your business name so it doesn't show on your personal credit, make sure you talk to a finance manager that works in that brand and you make sure that it is not going to show, because sometimes it does. Great question. Go ahead, Dolan. I see we got a lot more questions coming in, so let's keep it moving. What's going on, Alex Rios? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, good to see you. Vicky, good to see you, Anthony Lewis. This is from TikTok. What's the best way to buy a Tesla? So you can't negotiate a price on a new Tesla. It's one price. You're going to order the vehicle. You don't have to worry about overpaying for the vehicle. Here's what you do need to concern yourself with. How are you going to acquire it? Are you paying cash? If you're paying cash, then there's no negotiation. You go, you drop your check, no problem. If you're leasing it, you need to make sure that you're not overpaying for the lease. We have something we could see. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of paying less than everyone and making sure we don't actually overpay for anything. We have something, the 1% lease rule has been around forever. That means if I'm looking at a $40,000 car, when I shop, if I get a payment under $400 with no money out of pocket, it's a steal. In my book, I call that the steal. We have 3 different types of lease outcomes. The steal is 1% or less. The deal is between 1% and 1.5. Time to chill is over 1.5. So, because I saw these people signing terrible lease deals. If you look at your payment, divide it into the MSRP, take your down payment out of it. You got to put your down payment back into, you got to do some math to say, all right, what would it have been if I didn't put that 3,000 down, that 5,000 down, and you just do like a sign and drive? If you divide that payment into the MSRP and it's over 1.5%, there's no value there for 12,000 miles per year. We adjusted. We got 15,000. Jen just got it. She just got her 18,000 mile a year lease because we do high mileage leases. That as long as we still have a great deal, there's nothing wrong with, oh, I shopped my best offer. It was 1.1 or it was 1.2 or it was 1, and then I adjusted the mileage, and now it's higher, but still it's a deal because you have to have a deal before you adjust your mileage. But if you do that and your payment's over 1.5%, there's no value in leasing that vehicle. You're paying too much money for a vehicle you're giving back. Say, what's up, Parth Patel? Good to see you. Same thing with 4-year leases. Add up all the payments. You'll see. I had to create these boundaries because people didn't know they're overpaying. People didn't know why. It's too much money for a vehicle you're not going to own. Leasing is a value play. It's okay, if I'm going to spend $400 a month, what's the most vehicle I can drive for $400 a month? Well, some people for $400 a month, they're driving a $30,000 vehicle. Some people for $400 a month, they're driving a $40,000 vehicle. Some people for $400, they're driving a $50,000 vehicle. There are people who, the better lease value you get, the more value you have. It's just, leasing is a value play. So when you add up all these payments, that's what you need. So that's what you need to concern yourself with if you're going to lease the Tesla. And if you're going to finance it, then you need to make sure that you are doing what we call the bank bidding war. I teach this in my book. If you want a copy of my book, you won't pay the $97 price. We have a book launch offer. It's 75% off. You can get your copy in the comment section on TikTok, on YouTube, or in my TikTok bios, or in my Instagram bio. It'll be in your inbox in literally 2 seconds. In fact, as soon as you pay, on that thank you page, you get 2 very important things. One is the link to open the book. I also email you a copy. And then I tell you, screenshot that page so that you can have the support email. I also have the support email for my team on the screen here on YouTube. This is only for book deliveries. Do not write us with questions. We have, this is how we help people. We have our boundaries of how we help people. I don't take questions from email. That is to make sure you get your book, just in case you type your email wrong. But in there, I teach something called the bank bidding war. So the bank bidding war is when we make banks and lenders compete for our loan. Rates are high right now. Even when rates are low, though, you should be making, you know how many banks and credit unions want to compete for your loan, but you're not giving them a chance? What's up, Jakara? You're not giving them a chance? There's tons of banks around us, online banks, credit unions, and you're just only going to Navy Federal, or you're just only going to the dealership. If you save 1 point on it, if you buy that Tesla and you save 1 point on your interest rate, that could be over $1,000. If you overpay, depending on your loan, if you're going like $50,000, 2 points could be $3,000, $4,000. So we take, in order for you to get a great deal, remember this, and then we'll pull up the next question. In order for you to get a great deal, I'm gonna make this very simple for you. You have to know that there are 3 transactions to every car deal. Not every, but if you have a car to replace, when you trade a car to a dealership, that's 1 transaction. That's why there are companies out here that want to buy cars. They don't even sell cars. They just want to buy them. They're wholesalers, and then we have companies that want to buy cars. They don't care if you buy a car from them. They just say, "Can we buy your old car?" That's one transaction. Then there are banks who want to lend to you. They don't sell cars. Hey, if we could just, can we just get in on your loan? Will you give us a chance to? That's another transaction. And then buying your car from someone, that's a third transaction. So in order for you, so when you say, all right, I need to make sure I guarantee I got the best deal, then you need to start doing what we do, which is understand there's 3 transactions and bid each one out. You can't negotiate your way to a great deal, but you can bid your way to a great deal. We get tons of bids when we're selling our cars. People who come, look at our car, looks great. They go to the accounting department, write a check. Here you go. Enjoy. Then we bid out our bank, our loan. Hey, and they allow you to do this. The dealers don't want you to know this. The banks don't even want you to know this. The banks really don't want you to know this. They allow you to bid out your loan. You can have 15, 20 lenders within a certain period of time. We do it. It takes us 2 days. Once you get your car, you can have multiple lenders access your credit and give you loan offers. Multiple lenders. That doesn't mean you go to dealership to dealership to dealership and let them all run your credit. That's not rate shopping. That's car shopping. That when they look at your credit report, they're like, okay, this person's going to every dealership they can and just letting everybody run their credit. That'll drop your credit. But finding a car, locking it up, in your case, it's going to be a Tesla, if that's where you go, and then coming home and saying, okay, now let me let Chase run this. Now let me let community credit unions get a shot at it. Now let me let Navy Federal. And hey, now let me let Lightstream. And I have resources I recommend in my bank. I'm in my book. No one pays me. None of these companies pay me. I hold myself to being a journalist in the purest sense. No one's paying me to get mentioned. This is who we use. This is who I use. So we have to know who these companies are and give them a shot at our business. And then we see, then the dealer might have 13 more banks. Then some people would say, oh, I don't let dealers run my credit. Well, you don't realize something. Dealers have tons of leverage with banks. Dealers can call because they give banks millions of dollars in loans a month. So they can call if they're trying to beat a rate. If you come in, hey, this is my rate, 6.2. Oh, listen, I need to beat this rate. The problem is when you go and let them be your first offer. So when you get your Tesla, if that's what you decide to do, you need to make sure if you have an old car, you're bidding that out. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus, 6 offers in 20 minutes. Competing offers. CarMax, I'm going to say that again. Listen, everybody who's been on the stream, again, if this is your first time here, type the number 1. But even if you go credit union, see, understand, somebody said go credit union. If you're not making people compete, you can't. If you came out your credit union and you said, all right, I just got a loan here. If I said, hey, bet me $1,000 you couldn't get a better rate, would you take the bet? Probably not. Because you only let one person have a shot at your business. You don't know if this other credit union could have beat that. You don't know if Chase Manhattan could have beat that. You don't know if you did. There's 20 people that want to do business. So just to go in and say, all right, well, that's the credit union, I'm going to go with them. If they win the bid, then they got the business. But welcome to the first time people. What we do here is we bid. And you're going to learn that that's the easiest thing in the world. That's why car shopping from us. Look at people like Tote, BMW, $54,000 BMW, $690 a month, 1.26. She did it from home. Did it from home. Ended up saving $8,500 off, including the rebate. $8,500. Look, Benita, during the pandemic, I would love to honestly get someone on here who leased a Kia Telluride during the pandemic. I would love to see if your paperwork, if you did a no money down deal, I guarantee you're paying $800 a month, 700, 800, potentially 900 a month. Bonita got hers for 600 a month. Look, I always keep hers because some of you say, Deshone, when is the market going to get better? We've been making below market deals when there was blood in the street. That's it. As long as you know how to make people bid, you're going to get below market deals no matter what the market does. That's what, type a light bulb or type dollar signs if that clicks. The market wants you at the mercy of it. The market wants you thinking, well, all right, I think I'm gonna go in, Labor Day. All right, I know the holidays are coming up. That's marketing. They want showrooms full of people coming in thinking there's better deals this day, but there's not better deals. There's more competition for you. You have less room to negotiate when it's full, because the car sales people, when you start asking for too much money off, they're going to just escort you out because there's going to be a line of people behind you. Listen, Mr. Jones, hey, I'd love to do business with you, but we got people walking out the showroom. It's it's a busy day. We don't have enough salespeople. This is the best offer. It's less leverage when you go in there on a weekend. It's less leverage when you go in and the place is full. It's all perception. They're ringing bells. You're like, okay, everybody's buying a car. I don't want to leave here without a car. That all works against you. That's why it's not about the market. It's about you understanding that I can get great deals today when I learn to make people bid while I sit at home. And that's what I want you to get in my book, Cars from Home. It's a digital book. The reason it's a digital book is because I updated Vroom went out of business earlier this year. Had to update the book. Had I mailed you a copy of that would be irrelevant. But as soon as something happens, we go into the master file, update it. You got the new book. Vroom's gone, and you never even knew Vroom was there if you just got it. That's the whole point. Now you can get your copy. You can pull up the next question, Dolan. YouTube, I have a link for you. It's only good for 30 minutes, though. I'm not putting the welcome offer out there indefinitely because I'm incentivizing you to take action. The book is normally $97, worth every dime and more. That book is going to be one of the most valuable books to your bank account you ever bought. But as part of our welcome offer, you can get it for $97. You can get it for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio. Go there now, get your copy, come back to the stream. Make sure you save the thank you page because that's where your book is. I'll email you a copy as well. And that's where the support email is, just in case you look in 10 minutes and that book's not there. It's usually because there's a typo in your email, but you'll have the support email so my team can get it for you. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question up, brother. Okay. And could everybody who's enjoying the broadcast share this with one person? I appreciate you. Gail from YouTube, how are you? Should age be a factor if you lease or finance? That's a great question. Oh, she's 70 years young. No, it's only a matter of how many years you're keeping the car. I'll give you an example. Felicia came in she started working with us, pandemic. I might have a picture of her BMW she got. She never thought she could afford a BMW because who knows how every $5,000 on a car loan is about how much per month. And this is why you'll understand leasing, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, is going to allow you to drive cars that you didn't think you could drive before. I had 4 Infinities that I leased. Before I bought this Infinity truck, I had 4 that I leased. And I know I'm talking to some people and you're like, Deshone, I was taught never lease cars. If that's you, be honest. Type I was. Type, me or I was. You were taught never to lease. I want to tell you that the people who taught you that, the people who programmed you, Dave Ramsey might have been one of them. Dave Ramsey does a great job helping people get out of debt, helping people invest in the stock market. God bless Dave Ramsey. He's helped a lot of people do that. But when it comes to cars, he has cost you more money than he's going to give you back. The bad leasing advice is totally wrong. And in fact, I'm going to prove it to you. When you look at a great lease deal. Look at Ansley. Ansley gets a 2024 QX60 Infinity $58,000 truck. He's paying $554 a month. Every $5,000 on a car loan is about $100 a month. So when you walk into a car dealership and you're shopping, you're looking at a used car, you're looking at a new, when you see $10,000, you should think to yourself $200 a month. You see, oh, I see you asking 25 grand for that. You should think $500 a month. Oh, that's a $50,000 vehicle, $1,000 a month. Because here's why that thinking will protect you, because that's based on a 5-year loan. The max I'll ever recommend you go is on the 6 years. You can go 6 years. But anything longer than that, now you're in the 40-year mortgage category. What do you mean 40-year mortgage? Who didn't know that there were 40-year mortgages available? I'll do you one better. Did you know there's 50-year mortgages available? Did you know that? Who right now would sign up for a 50-year mortgage? Anybody? We got a bunch of smart people on here. Anybody signing up for a 50-year mortgage? No? Okay, I didn't think so. So when you go in and you see $1,000 car and you say, all right, every 5,000 is $100 a month. That's going to cost me about $1,000. If you go in there like a lot of people do, and this is again, look, I gotta break the bad news to you. I know that some people like Deshone, I don't like bad news, and you're not gonna like what we do here. That's just it. But here's the thing: I don't leave you there. I give you the bad news to try to show you how much money you're losing, so that you can actually snap into it and get serious about this and start winning the way we win. If I just come to you and say, you're doing so good, your car deals are just so good, that used car you bought, man, you really paid a great price for it. You really got a quality car. You got a below market deal, but let me help you do better. You'd be like, no, I'm actually doing good. I have to come to you and let you know that if you don't know the new price of the used car you bought, you don't know how much it was when it was new. How do you know how much discount you saving? All of these things that is like bad news first, that's what we got to do. So when you say if you don't know that every 5,000 is $100 a month, here's what you do. You go into the dealership and you say, all right, you look at the same $50,000 car that should register at about 1,000, and you say something like this. Could you get that to like 700, something like that? Okay, how much money could you put down? I could probably put down like 10. Okay, even if you put down 10. Now that should, in your mind, if you went from that 50,000 to 40, you should be like, okay, well, even if I put 10 down, I'm still going to be around 800. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to put you into a loan that's so long, you're not going to even realize it. And I've had people who come to me with cars and they're like, D, man, I think I'm ready to switch this car, man, but the dealer telling me I can't get out of it. I said, all right, how much you paying? All right, payment's not too bad. All right, you know how many years, how long is the loan? Oh man, I ain't even asked. Okay. You already telling me where we're going. This is gonna be bad. Man, you in a 96-month loan. You in an 84-month loan. That's what not having these things in mind becomes. So going back to Ashley here, if he walked in to get that same 2024 Infinity that he just leased for $554 a month with, look, first month's down, first month payment, he gave him $554, drove off in an almost $60,000 car. That would be $1,200 a month almost. $1,200 a month. I told you, 4 leases I had. If just Infinities. I had a G62 and then I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee as well. But 4 Infinity leases, these were $40,000 cars I was driving for under $400 a month. Cars that would normally cost, cars that people are out here paying $700, $800, $900 a month for. Because they believe the never lease a car lie. They believe, oh, leasing is renting. Okay, well, I'll be renting for 3 years and then I'm gonna go and switch it up, do something else, keep all this money in my household. You go ahead and do that. Oh man, the car broke down. Man, yeah, man, it's 5 years old. Now, oh, you don't have a warranty? Nah, the warranty just expired. All right, man, listen. You go ahead and do that. That's why I say to people who you believe they owe you money. Just learning about deal structure, you'll be like, that's why I tell you, you can't get a great deal if you should have leased what you bought. So, Gail, to answer your question, no, has nothing to do with age, has everything to do with you asking the first question in my book, the most important question, which is, how many years am I going to keep this next car? That's the question you ask yourself. If y'all are enjoying what you're seeing on TikTok, could y'all keep tapping the screen, run those likes up? Can we get those likes over 1,000, 2,000? Let's just run the likes up if you're enjoying what you're hearing. That's the issue. You always ask yourself, this is the question you ask yourself, all of you who are car shopping right now, how many years am I keeping the next vehicle? And if it's 8 or more, then you're going to shop for a below market purchase, new or used, depending on your budget. If it's less than 8, if you're like, I'm honest, man, I don't think I'm going to keep this thing 8 years. You should be shopping for a below market lease, and it's not even close. It's not even close. All right? Doesn't have anything to do with your age, Gail. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one up. All right. Great questions today. Keep typing your questions, y'all. We'll get to as many as we can before the stream ends. All right. This one's from YouTube. I drive up to 50,000 miles a year for gig work. I would like to lease. Here's the problem. High mileage leases are a thing. So we get a chance to dispel a myth right now, which is, oh, that leasing, they limit you on mileage. You choose your mileage. Most vehicles will write you a lease contract up to 30,000 miles per year. And I learned this when I was a manager at Hyundai for 6 weeks. It was a rough dealership. It was on the highway. People were fighting in the back, drugs in the back. It was rough. So 6 weeks I was there, and then I was like, all right, this ain't for me. But in that time, I learned something that I had never learned before, being with GM and with Mercedes. Person comes in, they drop off their lease, and they're like, I go in, we got to get the mileage off the car. And I see it's like 72,000 miles on the car. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. You lease this? He said, yeah, I always lease, because every time I used to buy my cars, I come back 3 years, 4 years, I always had tons of negative equity. I had to write a big check or roll that over, which I know because this is what I was doing with my clients. Every single car, hey, you got like $8,000 negative equity. You got to roll that over. But once I saw how he was doing it, I said, wait, hold on. I looked at his contract. He was only paying like $175 more a month than the normal lease rate. Literally $175 more per month. He gets 25,000 miles a year. And I'm like, this is great. Because $175 per month more times 3 years is much less than if he brought that car back and had to write a $12,000 had $12,000 in negative equity, which a lot of you high mileage drivers continue to have. You have the worst negative equity more than anyone. Normal drivers who buy, but they should be leasing, they're going to have $5,000-10,000 in negative equity. High mileage drivers, you guys could have 10 to 15, 18,000 because you're depreciating the value of your cars. Your car's value is like this, but your loan is just moving very slow. So that's when I started telling people about high mileage leases. Now, I haven't, in your particular case, what I would probably recommend, I have 2 high mileage strategies in my book for short-term people. One is a high mileage lease. One is something I call two cars, one payment. 2 cars, one payment is I'm going to buy my first car, or you may own a car now, and you're going to pay that car off. So let's say I'm you and I'm putting 50,000 miles on the car. You should be, quite honestly, paying these cars off sooner than later. You shouldn't be taking 5- and 6-year loans like everyone else, because I would assume with you putting 50,000 miles a year on a vehicle, that vehicle is making you money. So what you're doing when you take a long loan is you're just pushing your losses to the back. Instead of taking a shorter loan, like a 3-year loan, max 4, and then saying, okay, I'm going to drive 50,000 miles per year, 200,000 miles, I'm coming in, I'm going to turn this vehicle, and I'm going to have it paid off, though. What you're doing is say, all right, I want a lower payment. Instead of a 4-year payment for, $650, $700, I'm going to take a 6-year payment for $400. So what you're doing, you think you're winning, but you're actually losing, because it's like that extra $250, $300 a month you're making is actually not profit. You're just you're pushing your losses to the back, because when you come back in 4 years and that vehicle has 200,000 miles on it, it's going to be worthless, but your loan is going to be like 17 grand still. You're going to owe so much more money, and you're like, wow, what do I do with this now? You have to roll it over. So the solution would be to take a shorter loan, take a shorter loan, and then turn the cars when you're ready to. They're paid off though. So it's a couple years old, it might be worth 5 grand, 7 grand. So now instead of you actually having negative equity, taking losses in the back end, pushing that loss to your next vehicle because you're rolling it over, you actually have an asset now, 5 grand, 6 grand, 8, that you can use towards your next car. But it's all about knowing I'm going to take less profit per month. I'm not going to take the most profit per month and think that I'm going to be able to do this. So now, if you say, if the 2 cars, 1 payment strategy is, you would actually pay off 1 car and then you lease a nice car. So you maybe lease, once my first car is paid off, it has 2, and that first car needs to be something that is known for going 300,000 miles. Literally, very, very important. That first car, you need to, it's Honda, Toyota, something that you can look at the records and say, yeah, these cars go 300,000. Because once you actually get that 300,000 on that car, you still may want to keep it because it's highway mileage. It's highway mileage. So I'm gonna have my car that I put my mileage on. I'll put maybe 25,000 on that Honda a year, or even 30,000, and then I'll have my lease that I lease for like 15,000 miles a year, or 20,000 miles a year. And then I got my nice car. I switch every 3 years, and I got my lease car. I got my mileage car to balance it out. That's 2 cars. You're always gonna have 1 payment. So that's really 2 strategies for you to consider: buying a car, taking out a short loan, switching the car every 4 years or so, and not leasing. Just literally run the miles up, make your money on it, come back, do it again. But do not buy these cars and put 5 and 6 and 7 year loans on them at all. That's what most people are doing, by the way. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Great question. Great question. I love this stuff, man. I love this stuff. Kino, I see you. Armando Lara, if you're enjoying the stream, type $signs. If you're enjoying the stream, type $signs. $signs. I already know this stuff. I already know this stuff. I need you to know it. I need you paying, I need you confident in your deal. All right. TDA Tastemaker from Instagram. If I have a car in my possession, but I defaulted on my loan, but I still have the car, what's the best way to get my title? I don't know. You're not paying the loan, you defaulted on it, and you're trying to get the title. No way. There's no way. They're not going to release the title until it's paid off. Got to figure out a way to pay or sell. I don't even know. Can you sell it? Depends on where you are. How far behind are you? We can try to get out of that car, go into something less expensive. I would try to sell the car. I would go on CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, like Car Gurus. Get my 6 offers, see if you can sell it. Go into something less expensive because that repo is going to follow you. So what's happening is this is baggage. This is why I need you to either fix your credit over the next couple years. You can follow Shonda Martin. Y'all know I recommend her all the time. She's just like me, but she does credit. She'll get on, tons of hours of information. She helped me, just little tips she helped me. I went like another 50 points on my credit score, just stuff I didn't understand because I don't study credit. You know what I mean? I'm not an expert in credit. Even though credit involved, think about that. Credit is a big part of what I teach. But I don't go into credit because that's its own subject. So Dave Ramsey would be like, hey, well, a lot of my people are buying cars. I guess I'll talk about that too. No, let the experts talk about that. You go find the experts and bring them to your people. So I always say, I don't talk credit, follow the experts. But when there's negative equity and bad credit affect your car deals. So the mission is, how do I make deals without negative equity? You got to know the cause. You should be leasing, but you keep buying. You should be shopping for below market leases, paying cents on the dollar, but you keep buying. Second cause, the second thing affects your deal is bad credit. So we got to make sure that we are working on our credit, and until your credit is fixed, you should be driving something inexpensive. Get the least expensive car you could afford. I mean, that'll Facebook Marketplace, drop $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Find someone who's an owner. You want to find someone. I picked up a car because I work from home. We have another car. We got the Infinity truck. I picked up a car from a grandfather. He was 98 years old, and he owned it for 10 years, and it had 70,000 miles on it. It was an '08. I said, listen, how much? He said, $3,700. I said, all right, let's go. It's a great deal, and it's just my point A to point B car. Why do I need a car that I'm going to tie up a bunch of money in to go? I drive that car 1,000. If I drive that car 100 miles a month, 200 miles a month, that's a lot. You have to know, and I call this in my book, the SMART strategy. It's called saving money at the right time. If your credit is not right, you don't need to go out and try to flex. You need to be trying to get something inexpensive. Oh, but they're going, man, I can't pull up like this. Then you go ahead and be financially foolish. Go ahead, pay 19%. Go get the Dodge Charger you want and pay 20% on it. And you're gonna overpay for the car. Go ahead, do that. But don't say I told you to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm getting an inexpensive car that I'll find on Facebook Marketplace that an owner has had in their driveway. They know everything about it. Pick it up for a couple grand. Don't buy from these dealers who pose as owners who just got the cars from auction. You ask them, hey, how long you had it? Hey, what happened? They don't know anything about it because they just got it. And I'm getting an inexpensive car until my credit is established. And what I would be doing is literally driving that car for 18 months or 2 years, getting my credit right, and then I'm going to lease something brand new. And be like, Dad, so you just went from that car to pulling up with something brand new? How you do that? I had a plan. That's how we do. So all of this, everything I'm teaching is out my new book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97. You can Google it. It's 5-star rated. I think we have, how many ratings do we have now? I think we have, thank you to everyone who's reviewed the book, who's rated it. I appreciate it. 58 ratings. Appreciate it. You can read what people say about it. You can see how they've used it. You can see everything. So you won't pay the normal $97 price. If you go to my TikTok bio, as long as you get there before that timer hits 0. If you went to that page and that timer started clicking, once it's 0, it goes back to $97. You won't get the 75% off. So go back, get your book, and then you can come back to the stream. But make sure when you get your book, you save the thank you page so you can have the support email just in case your book doesn't hit, you usually type your email wrong, you type in too fast. We'll make sure you get it. And then on YouTube and Instagram, you go to my bio, get your copy. YouTube and Facebook, we have a comment for you in the link. We have a link for you in the comments. Next question, Dolan. Go ahead, man. This one from Instagram. I'm doing a regular lease. I need help. Can you explain the 1.2? Okay. Can you explain the 0.125 APR again? Should that be close to my monthly payment? Can you help? I'm trying my best, but they're trying my patience. So, first thing you're going to understand is the 1% rule. All right. When we go out to lease a car, in our deal focused budgeting step, this is something in our step 3 in my book. It's 7 steps. It's called deal focused budgeting. That means we are budgeting for what a deal should be, not for what we could spend. So if we're looking at a car that's $40,000 and we're like, okay, I'm going to shop for that car. When we're basing everything on the 1% rule, which is 1%, a 1% payment is 0.01, 0.01, $400. So you take the MSRP, $40,000 times 0.01, $400. That's the 1% lease deal. Anything lower than that, now you don't get these deals by negotiating. We get multiple offers. Some people are like, Deshone, I can't get no deals like that. Well, we got tons of them. If y'all want me to show them to y'all, we got tons of them. But anyway, that's a steal. That's not a deal. I call that a steal. Anything less than this, you stole a vehicle. Now, the 1.5% rule, which is 40,000 times 0.015, that's the max. That's the max. We're not going higher than that because once you add that up for 3 years, 36 months, 21,600, that's right around the cap of where we're gonna, because you got 40,000 plus taxes and everything like that. So call it around 43, 45. You want to pay no more than like 21.6 over 3 years. That's the cap. And if that's the best offer, it could be the lease program. They don't have much support. They got a high money factor. They got not much rebates, high demand, whatever it may be. But once we get 5 offers, if it's over 1.5%, we don't get those cars. So now what this person's asking about is that middle point, which is 0.0125. So we take the 40,000, we say 0.0125, that's going to be 500. So anywhere under 1.5 is a deal. Anywhere under 1.5 is a deal. The lower it is, the better it is, the more value it is. But the lower it is, how does it get lower? You're not negotiating it lower. You're getting once you see all your offers, if your offers, and again, I don't know your name because it's not on here, but if your offers aren't $175 to $200 a month difference, then you didn't shop right. When you're looking at those 5 offers, thank you. I see everybody sending gifts on TikTok. I appreciate it. I forgot. And can y'all double tap the screen? Just get those. Can we get to 1,000 likes on here? Can we get to 1,000 likes on here? Can we double tap? Can we just keep tapping the screen? If y'all enjoying y'all spending time with us, can y'all help us get to 1,000 likes? Appreciate y'all. So this is where this is a midpoint. But here's what you don't do. You do not go into the, y'all done flew. Y'all about to fly past 1,000. Look, on 10 seconds. Shout out to TikTok. Appreciate y'all. All right, so you don't go in a dealership and say, oh, well, get me to this. I want to be at 1.25. I want to be at 1.5. No, you don't do that. Because here's the thing. Ansley, he got a 1% lease deal on this Infiniti. Look, Jen on her Subaru. She just on her Honda CRV hybrid. She got a 1.3 lease deal, $512 a month, $40,000 vehicle. You don't go in and say that. You shop the offers from home, and if y'all want to do it manually, you can talk to sales managers. You can try to get this done manually. We do this totally by email without talking, because I know you probably don't like talking to car dealers. Am I right? Would I be right by assuming that? So she didn't know that her lease was going to end up at 1.3 when she shopped. Ansley didn't know it was going to be 1%. Look, Kimberly got a Maserati. Let's go to some luxury vehicles, because sometimes people think, oh, well, remember, I worked for Mercedes before I came and started teaching. So the formulas are the same, whether it's a Bentley, whether it's a Rolls Royce, the formulas and the principles don't change of multiple offers. Look, Kimberly gets a Maserati. She's paying, it was a $91,000 vehicle, 92 almost. She's paying $944 a month for it. It's a Maserati Grecal Modena, $92,000 vehicle. She's paying $944 a month for it. She didn't know that she was going to save $20,000 off. This is the other post. Look, she didn't know they were going to knock $20,000 off the selling price. You don't know that. You come in, you trust the process, you get the multiple offers, and then you look at the best offer. If the best offer, whatever the best offer lands at, as long as you see a bunch of other higher offers, now you know you shopped the market correctly. You found the 20% dealer, we call them, that beats all their competition. And now there's your deal. This is for new cars and leases. Used cars, different strategy. Different, still multiple offers, multiple options, but it's a different strategy. That's in my book too. But I want to make sure you understand this. That is how you do it. The 1.2%, 1.25 is just a middle ground. But when you shop your offers, just make sure they're all under 1.5 and then pick the best one. If the best offers is over 1.5, you got 1.6, 1.7, 1.9. That's a bad lease program. That means there's no support there. As long as you see a spread, if there's no, like, man, all of these offers are over 1.5, it's a bad lease program. High interest rate, probably terrible residual, no rebates, no incentives. That dealer who's the lowest is discounting the car. It's not their fault. They can't help the lease program. So the better you get, the better the lease program is. When you shop, you'll be closer to 1. The tighter the lease program is, when you shop, you'll be closer to 1.5. But as long as you're under 1.5, it's great value, much better than buying, paying cents on the dollars. It's a win. All right. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one in. And I think y'all see, I have to answer these questions thoroughly. If y'all will want me to zip through them, let me know. Type zip or type either Z for zip through or D for details. Because listen, I'll run it however y'all want it. If y'all want me to do these quick, don't go into the details, just kind of give us the zip answers, then I'll do that. But I see a lot of people talking about, okay, they want it in detail. Perfect. That's what I thought. So we're gonna keep it going that way. Now, T, on TikTok, you said, "Can you do my deal for me?" So here's the thing. People say, "Deshone, can you come to the dealership with me?" I don't go to dealerships. That I'm trying to get you not to go to dealerships. So, but we do have a look. If you can go to my TikTok bio, you can see there's a button there that says "Shop with Deshone," and you can see if you qualify to shop with me. Because everything I do is from right here until we go test drive. Until we go test drive. So, but if you want to learn how to do what I do right here, and you want to do it together, go see if we qualify to shop with each other. I don't shop with everybody though. I can't. So go there. That's a separate thing. And let's go. I think we got time for a few more. This one's from Instagram. I'm looking at a 2024 Mazda CX-5, $39,445. I see a fee listed. What is silent security? That's what 80% of dealers do. See, don't try to change 80% of dealers. They are going to actually charge you as much as they can. When you negotiate with them, they're going to say, "This is my best price." They're not lying to you. That's their best price. That's not their competition's best price. So when you're sitting at home, unfortunately, I think you could be from this mindset. Deshone, aren't all the Mazda dealer prices the same? There are people who think that. There are people who think like, okay, it's like the Apple store. Like Apple store next to me, Apple store in Santa Clara, California, Apple store in here, it's gonna be, these are all the same price. I'm gonna just deal with who's closer. It's like McDonald's, right? Same price here, let's go to the closest McDonald's. Nope, it's totally different. These are competitors. These are competitors, individually owned franchises. They compete against each other and they try to beat each other, which is why when you get to a dealership, what don't they want you doing? I want to give y'all some time to type this in. What don't they want you doing? Once you sit down in that seat, if they can get you to sit down in that seat, which we don't do. We never talk numbers in a dealership. We're there to test drive. What don't they want you doing when you're in a dealership? Y'all don't need to hear this from me. You've experienced it. They don't want you leaving. Thank you, Smokey. Thank you, Smokey. Newberg, yes. They don't want you to leave. Luis Soto, I see you on Facebook. Don't leave. Look, you had, so now, see, as we pull back the curtain, there's new brain cells that are being developed now, things that you weren't aware of. Now you'll see why. That's why. Because the last thing they want you to do is shop their competition. Their last thing is, hey, what can we do? Just tell me what we can do. That's why they're just gonna sit there. Hey, come on, tell me what's gonna make you happy. Well, what's gonna make me happy is you give me time, let me go home and actually, shop around a little bit. But is there a number? Is there a number that I could offer you where you wouldn't even shop? These are all trained questions to keep you there. I call them the showroom shackles. It's like as soon as you sit down, like a little, boom, little handcuff comes out. You can't go too far. So this is what you want to avoid like the plague. We do not talk numbers in dealerships. We don't talk to salespeople unless we're there for a test drive. These are things that everybody who I'm sharing with you, from Greg to Danielle with her Audi lease, Eddie on his pre-owned, on his Toyota, got a brand new Toyota last year, still during the pandemic. It was still, look, he said, I shopped around. I was able to get everything I wanted, plus more, $2,086 under MSRP in a 1 week window. 1 week. So this doesn't take a lot of time. Some of you like, Deshone, well, I only got a couple days. Could I make a deal in a couple days? Look, not even Eddie. I'll give you one better. Look at Ansley. Ansley's got his, Ansley, look, on his 2024 Infiniti, he said, look, I started the process Saturday. I accepted a deal Monday. I need you getting these deals in 90 minutes. 90 minutes. I have never gotten any car that I ever got spent more than 2 hours on the whole process. Never. From home. Now, I want you to spend more time than that shopping. Shopping is deciding what you want. Going test driving, going seeing cars, seeing options, looking at cars, deciding that. No rush on. We don't let anyone rush us on that. But when it comes time to get the below market deal, 90 minutes. We got the internet. Why should it take me more? We do everything we do. So look, 2 days, Ansley did it. This is what you have to do. Like, get out of that old process of being trapped in dealership and realize, Messing King, the dealership you're looking at is just one of many. The whole area around us is one big marketplace. If there's 25 Mazda dealerships around us, you're going to know. I'm talking to all of these people. They're fighting for my business in my email. They blowing my email up. They all want to sell me a car, and may the best dealer win. It's empowering. It's beautiful. So everything is in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get your copy for 75% off as part of our welcome offer. How the heck did we go from 500 likes to 3,200 likes on TikTok? Shout out to y'all. We on 2 TikTok channels right now. But y'all done blew this one up. Appreciate y'all. In my TikTok bio is your copy of Cars from Home. You'll also get the bank bidding war blueprint for those of you who are financing, and teach you how to make banks and credit unions bid, and everything step by step. You won't pay the normal $97 price. You get there before that timer hits 0. You'll get it for $24, which is 75% off. Same thing in Instagram. Go to my Instagram bio now. Before the timer hits 0, you only got 30 minutes. Get your copy for $24 instead of $97. And on YouTube and Facebook, we have a link in the comment for you guys to get yours for 75% off. All right, Dolan, let's roll with I think we got time. Let's see how many. Go ahead, shoot the next one up. Looking at the clock. I have front bumper damage on my Ford EcoSport and 3,500 negative equity. What should I do? There's only 2 things you can do to get out of negative equity and into a new car. One of them, there's 3 things actually, but one of them doesn't get you a new car. Negative equity, I call the bad credit for people with good credit. It's the only time I see people will walk in the dealership with a 750 or 800 score, they leave with no car. Negative equity stalled the whole deal. So what you want to do is you get your bids, Young King, you get your bids from these companies, CarMax. This will take you 20 minutes. This is step 2 in my book, the equity assessment. We need to know what the real equity is, what the real negative equity is, and we don't do that based on an algorithm typing in 2,000 this, and then in 5 seconds This says, oh, your vehicle's worth this. Now go fight for it. No, we get offers. So you're going to go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus, and Auto Nation. You get those 6 offers. Now, the best thing for you to do is to close the gap and pay the difference. So whatever your highest offer is, if you have the money, I will pay the difference, because none of those higher offers are going to be as good as no dealer is going to be able to get close to your highest offer over there. Now, a thing for you is if all your offers are under 10 grand, you can list that car on Facebook Marketplace. I would sell it privately if the offers are around 10. Once you get to like a $12,000 car on Facebook Marketplace, you're really limiting your options because people need loans. So not too many people can come in and stroke a check for 10, 12 grand. So your buying pool is going to be limited. But I would go that route, because if they come in and they pay you $2,000 more privately, now you might only have to come up with $1,000 or $1,500 to close the gap. I would prefer you to do that, because then you get to do a clean deal. You get to go shop for a car, or when you're shopping for your car, once you get it, you're selling your old car to this buyer, and your deal is clean. You don't have to roll any baggage over. Now, if you can't pay the difference, you now have to bring baggage over. And unfortunately, you have to do what we have a curse word here. We don't say it much. I don't like to use it. It's a curse word. It starts with a T. Does anybody know the word that we use? Something we don't do. We don't do. But you're going to have to do it if you can't pay the difference between the negative. Thank you, Ivan. Trade. Thank you. I love my people. Man, listen, man. I love the people who locked in. You could tell the people who just like, man, Deshone, listen, I hear you, bro. My money's important to me. I can't be out here on a stream with you and not be getting what you're saying. Like, my money means something to me. Correct. Trade. We don't trade, because again, you're not going to get the most you can get for your item trading it. You get the most doing what I told you to do over the last 90 seconds, which is putting it on the market, multiple offers, competing, blah, 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 blah. So if you have to trade, then what would happen is you would have to shop for your vehicle, get your best offer, and then once you get your best offer, you would have the used car manager look at your car and say, okay, we're going to roll that over. So, if your best offer over here would have resulted in $3,500 in negative equity, when you get your best deal here, they're going to now, it's probably going to be $5 grand in negative equity, because they can't pay those prices that Carvana and Driveway and Auto Nation, they can't compete with that. So now here's what you also could do, which I hope you don't do. You can go into a dealership and just say, hey, can you trade me out of that into a new car? I want to lease or I want to buy something. And they'll pretend you won't even understand the numbers. They'll just be like, all right, what payment you want to be at? You won't understand how much negative equity you have. You won't even understand that. Yo, dad, y'all, how I end up with 6,000 negative equity from y'all? Oh, because you just let them merge the deal. You gave them 2 chances. So what we do is we shop for our new car, get our bids, or if we're looking at a used car, we use my multiple marketplace strategy in my book. We get our deal. We find our best used car. Once we lock it up, now we already know those prices. We know what our all-in price looks like, because whenever we get a price, we get it all in, taxes, everything in. And now it's like, all right, can you tell me how much you would pay me for my car? So now it's like, oh, okay. Now you can see, oh, it's 3,200 in negative equity. You need to see the numbers. You don't need to. I want you to see them so that no one can be pulling the wool over your eyes when it should have been 3,200 in negative equity, but they're going to turn it into 6 because you just came in and said, all right, y'all get me into a car. Just make the payment nice. So we always separate our transactions and bid them out, even if we have negative equity. That's not going to change. But in your particular case, if you have too much negative equity, you can't pay the difference. You lose the ability to bid out your car, which is a major part of what we do. We bid out our car so we can maximize that. If you can't pay the difference, you now have to trade, and one step of the bidding process you can't do, which is why I say stay out of negative equity. You should be going into a lease. It's no way. Only people who should be going from negative equity to another finance is if you had an emergency. which means like, okay, Deshone, I had a small car and my wife just had twins. Like, I had a two-seater, I had a coupe. She's having twins. Now we need a bigger car. I was going to keep it 8 years. I was going to keep the car 8 years, pay it off, keep it. But now this doesn't work for me anymore. The next car you buy needs to be kept 8 years, because if you go from negative equity, go finance another car, not lease it, and then take out another 6-year loan, and then 3-4 years in, you're like, okay, I'm gonna switch again. Now more negative equity. Instead of 35, you're gonna be at like 7 or more. And then, oh, let's roll that over. And it's just a repetitive cycle of always having a car payment, never paying the car off, and always have it paying for your old car in your new car. Negative equity, the devil to your car deals. The bad credit for people with good credit. Stay out of it. Learn the lease. All right, y'all. Listen, we just hit the hour mark. Great job. Thanks for everybody who tapped in. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. Again, some of you who are like, Deshone, I need the blueprint. I want everything you teach step by step. Walk me through each play. My book is called 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book. It'll be in your inbox in literally 2 minutes. Go to my TikTok bio, use the 75% off link. Go there, you'll have it. But make sure as soon as you activate that link, Instagram too, you screenshot the thank you page. As soon as you pay, you get the thank you page has the book. You scroll down, it says click here to open your book. I also email you a copy, but I want you to have that support email just in case you type your email wrong or something and it's not there. You can get in touch with my support team so you can get your book immediately. YouTube, we have a link for you, as well as Facebook in the comments. Use the 75% off link. You won't pay the $97 price. But again, if you missed it, and that you was like, Deshone, I went there and that countdown is 0. It's back up to $97. It was a 30-minute offer, and I've been saying that for the last hour I've been on here. So it's still worth it at $97. There's no one who's going to get that book, use it, and be like, Deshone, that wasn't worth $97. You'll be like, Deshone, this is, I got a bunch of books on here. I'm going to end with this. I got a bunch of books on here. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I can't tell you if any of these books are actually saving me thousands of dollars. A couple. I got some good ones. Don't get me wrong. This will be a book, when you look at all the books you ever got, this will be top 3, guaranteed. Where you said, this book saved me more money than any other book that I own. Top 3. That's Cars from Home. And that's the standard we hold it to. It's already 5-star rated. And if you use it already, please go to Goodreads and add to the ratings. We love to see it. All right. I'll see y'all on the next stream. It's always a pleasure. God bless you. Keep winning. And make sure you send me your success stories by email. I want to see your car deals. All right. God bless. All right, we're live with car questions and answers right now. If you are car shopping, I want you to type a 1 in the comment. Right now, everyone's overpaying for cars. It is absolutely, it's crazy what I'm seeing right now. And as someone who spent 14 years in the car business, I cannot believe that people used to take car buying. People used to get okay deals. Back then, people weren't getting, hammered the way they're getting hammered now. But I see these deals. I get DMs all the time. People are sending me the prices they're paying, and I can't believe it, and I want to stop it. So what we'll be doing right now is making sure Anyone who's shopping for a car, I want you to start asking your question. We got our first question coming from TikTok. As you come in, share the broadcast with some, if you enjoy it, if you're enjoying what you're hearing as we talk over the next hour, tag someone in, because most likely one of the people that I'm talking about who's out here overpaying for cars is someone you know. So no, I guarantee you no one will ever be mad at you sharing my page with them. I don't tell jokes. I don't waste time. All we talk about is thousands of dollars and how to make sure you keep it in your pocket. This whole live will be sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Everyone who types a 1 in the comment on Instagram and Facebook, I'm going to send you a link to get your copy at 75% off. Everyone on TikTok, you want your copy 75% off. It's an instant download. You go to my TikTok bio, you won't leave the broadcast. And everyone on YouTube, we have a comment pin for you so you can get your copy for 75% off. That's the blueprint. That's the guide. That's the step-by-step for leasing, purchasing, new cars, used cars, high mileage strategies, bad credit strategies, all step-by-step so that you can have the blueprint to make sure you're not one of these people out here that's overpaying. Okay, so first question came from Coral on TikTok. Will better incentives be coming out by December? You never know what incentives there are. People will lie to you about incentives. And in fact, when you walk into a dealership, if you ask them, do you have any incentives this month? What do you think they're going to say? Even if they don't have any, they're going to say yes. Because they're never going to say, no, we don't have any, come back next month. You'll never hear that. So how do we know what the real incentives are? And just so I can be clear, because I want to talk in a way for the most, even if we got high schoolers on here coming out of high school and want their first car, I want to talk in a way you can understand this. In fact, you might get this more than some of the adults who've been programmed a little harder because, you know, they've been doing the same thing for years. Incentives or rebates and low interest rates and anything the manufacturer puts on a car to help it sell more. So it could be a military rebate. It could be a conquest rebate. Conquest rebate is a rebate for a competitor's car you own. So if you're buying a Lincoln and you have a Jaguar, they might have a conquest rebate, a loyalty rebate, dealer cash, which is not a rebate. It's just literally cash that the dealers get to make deals with. It might be $1,000, $3,000 dealer cash. Federal rebates, we're seeing a lot of that with electric vehicles. There's no obligation for them to tell you about any of this stuff. If you go in there and you get a car and you didn't know any of this stuff existed, it's buyer beware. You lost. You don't get to sue anybody and say, wait, guys, I found out you guys had $7,000 in rebates you didn't tell me about. That's why it's our job to make sure we are getting the actual rebates. And how do we get it? We must shop multiple offers. Any car, and right now I'm talking to people. This is a new car and used. Some of the questions that we're going to get are going to be for new cars, leases. Some of them are going to be for used cars. This is a new car question. This is a lease question. Anytime you hear somebody really focusing on incentives, the only incentives you really get for used cars is if you're buying a certified used car, you might see a low interest rate. That's really one of the only incentives. A certified Honda might have a 1.9 interest rate. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see any rebates off a used car. But when it comes to new cars, oh my God, like I said, you could be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in rebates. In fact, Sean right here, check this out. Sean, who picked up his F-150 Lightning, I'm showing it on YouTube. So I know you guys on the other platforms can't see it, but on YouTube, Sean got an F-150 Lightning and the rebates totaled $15,500. When I worked for Mercedes, I sold a Maybach. It's actually called Maybach, but you know, most of you guys probably know it as Maybach. It had a $20,000 rebate on it. So if you come in there, somebody asked yesterday, we were live streaming, right? And the guy's like, how do I get them the invoice price? Invoice price, that's 2004 internet stuff. Without knowing that you're getting the biggest discount and all the rebates, you got nothing. And that's what you need to know. How do you do it? You got to realize 4 out of 5 dealers are going to lie to you. They're not going to tell you about all the rebates. They're not going to tell you about some of the rebates. They might say, hey, we don't have any rebate. And then later they'll bring them. The only way for you to get them is for you to get multiple offers so that you can see that. I always suggest 5 offers. I have a strategy in my book called the 25 to 5, where we connect with 25 dealers online. That gets us 5 offers. If you want to do it manually, you can pick up the phone, you can call, only ask for sales managers. Do not deal with salesmen if you are going to do this, because then you're going to be, I'm telling you, I spent 14 years in this business. Only if you're going to do it my way, you'll do it only by internet, no talking. If you're not getting the book, if you don't have my book, then you say, all right, I'm going to do it the manual way. Call, only speak to sales managers, or your life is going to be hell trying to get these offers. And you need to get at least 5, because as I said, once you get one offer and you be like, oh, wait, this person took off $1,000. That's their best offer. Then you get another offer. Wait, this person took off $3,000. That's their best offer. Oh, this person said it's $3,000 rebates and they took off another $3,000. They saved me $6,000. Oh, that's their best offer. Then you're going to start to see how people are out here overpaying, because they're not shopping multiple offers. They're getting one quote, going into their local dealer and saying, okay, do the best you can. And then they're signing just the deal, feeling, oh, I negotiated for 6 hours. This got to be a good deal. No, it's not. So you must, don't worry about what a day, Coral. Don't worry about, oh, the incentives will be good in December. Shop now, see what the incentives are now, and then shop them again next month and see if they change. And then in the holiday time, shop them again. But you're doing this by phone, or in my case, we do it by email. You're never going to be able to do this going into dealers. And I think for those of you if this is your first time on a broadcast with me, type first. First time you've ever been on a live stream with me, type first, because you may not be familiar with anything we teach here. Anything we teach here. And so this is going to be an unlearning process for you. I see you, Arlie. Good to see you. Okay, I see you, user 609. You don't have a name, so I see you, Nadine. Welcome. I see you, 357 Scene. I see you, I Spent Cinematic on Instagram. I see you, Just Too Blessed on Instagram. All right, well, type up everybody who's been with us for a while. I want you to type welcome to all the first-time people. I see you, Maurice Jenkins on YouTube. I see you, Libo on YouTube. Everybody who's been here before, you kind of know a little bit about the foundation, or you've been mastered this. Maybe you got cars using what we teach. Type a welcome to the first-time people, so we can let them know, welcome to the new way. Welcome to the new way. There's gonna be a lot of unlearning, but we're going to try to make it as comfortable as possible for you. But the major thing that you need to understand right up front is I teach a philosophy called cars from home, which means you can get your best offer, below market offers that no one else is getting. You can pay prices that no one else is paying without ever leaving your house. And in fact, the only way for you to guarantee that is to make deals from home, because this is where you're in control. This is where you can't let your emotions get out of control and make a bad decision. And this is where you can use the internet to talk to multiple dealers at one time and have them bid for your business. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Everybody type your questions. We'll continue to get to them. Coral, I think you kind of got the premise of what we're, what you need to focus on first, which is, unlearning the waiting for incentives and shopping wide, talking to multiple dealers, and actually monitoring the incentives from month to month yourself. Okay, what's up, D? This is Maurice from YouTube. What's up, D? I want a pickup truck. I like the Chevy Silverado. Okay, I know you said not to lease a vehicle you like. Okay. When did I say that? I know you said not to lease a vehicle you like. So I'm getting confused on financing and leasing. Okay. Okay, let me be clear. I never said don't lease a vehicle you like. I know you hear a lot of stuff from me, and that could be you might have gotten confused somewhere. It's all good. Here's how who's ready to finally put the leasing versus buying to bed forever. If you're ready to put The leasing versus buying. All right, Deshone, I hear, should I lease or should I buy? If you just type ready. If you're like, you know what? I hear videos from you, Deshone. I hear people from, I never used to hear videos about leasing 3 years ago. Now all of a sudden everyone's talking about, hey, you should be considering leasing, ready to consider leasing. I love numbers. And I love making the numbers easy for you. If I can't make the numbers easy for you, then I can't do what I'm called to do. The easy way to know from now on, should I buy or lease a vehicle, is to ask yourself, how many years am I keeping the next vehicle? When you're considering a lease, you're considering how you're going to beat depreciation. I see y'all tapping the screen. Every time you hear something on TikTok you like, just double tap the screen and y'all keep running those likes up. I appreciate it. TikTok brings more people over here. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. You guys help this message spread. You need to ask yourself, this is the first question. In my book, some of you have it, my digital book, Cars from Home. The first question before anything, before what car I want, is how many years am I keeping the next car? Because when you are getting a depreciating asset, you have to look at it like this. Every time you buy a car, I want y'all to think about this. What is this, Deshone? This is depreciation. If you buy a car today for $40,000, how much is that car worth in how much is that car worth in 5 years? Throw some numbers out there. You buy a car today for $40,000 in 5 years, average miles, how much is that car worth? How much is that car worth? Throw some numbers. 22. That's a good estimate. That's a good estimate. 357 said 4,000. You're not losing that much unless you just bought trash. Now, there is something coming to electric car owners soon, and we'll talk about that. Remind me to talk about the huge warning I have for electric car owners before we end it. 20,000. Now, check this out. If you buy a car for 40 and it's worth 20, okay, that's good. That's half in 5 years. I think it's going to lose more than half in 5 years, quite honestly. But when you're getting your car, you're trying to ask yourself, how am I going to beat depreciation? How am I going to prevent having something that I tie up money in for 5 years and that money is just losing value every time? Now, the way you beat depreciation is to keep the car a long time. Who has a car outside right now that they've had it more than 8 years? Type me. You know, if you have that car more than 10 years or 8 years, 10 years, you're not worried about what it's worth. It's going to be worth the same next year, about the same next year as it is today. That means you beat the depreciation. That means your depreciation is no longer like this. It looks like this. Today, your car is worth $8,000. Next year, your car will be worth $7,500. You're not losing that much value. Now, if that's not you, Deshone, I don't keep a car that long. 8 years, are you kidding me? No way I'm keeping a car that long. You should be shopping for a lease. Because when you get a below market lease, let me show you what a below market lease looks like and why there's no comparison to a below market lease versus a person who's buying. I'll take a random deal. Let's take Rosalie's deal. Rosalie she just got an Infiniti. I'm showing it on YouTube. Y'all can't see it, but I'll spell it out for you. She just got a $60,000 Infiniti truck. She's paying $592 a month, no money down. She gave him $592, drove off. Now, she got that price by getting multiple offers like I teach. You're not going to walk into a dealer and get that price. She contacted dealers online, had multiple dealers submit offers. The best dealer came in at $592 for a $60,000 vehicle. That's what we consider a 1% lease or less. Major value is the 1% lease rule has been around for a long time. $592 a month for a $60,000 vehicle. On the opposite end, we got people going out buying that $60,000 vehicle. If they did no money down, that's a $1,200 payment. So it's not even close. And it comes down to depreciation. All you have to ask yourself is, am I going to shop for a car that I'm keeping more than 8 years? If so, I'm purchasing. Don't think about leasing. It's not even important. Don't even think. People say, Deshone, you think everyone should lease? Absolutely not. If you're somebody who has the discipline and values to keep a car 8+ years, you should not be leasing. You should be shopping for a below market purchase, new or used. But if you're not keeping a car 8 years, you are spending thousands of dollars more than a person who's getting great lease deals. It's not even close, thousands more every year. And they're driving better cars than you. So Maurice, the only question you need to know about leasing is, are you going to keep this Chevy Silverado 8 years or longer, or less than 8 years? If less than 8 years, you shop for a lease, brother. Okay? Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. That's the formula, guys. That is the first question you ask yourself. The buying versus leasing question. How am I going to beat depreciation? Nothing more important than that. Got to put your deal on the right foundation. Okay, this is 777 from TikTok. They repoed my car. Do I still have to pay for the remaining balance? Well, that's a credit situation. When they repo your car, it's going to end up on your credit, and until you settle that balance, it's going to be there as a repo, and it's going to hurt your credit more. So at some point, you're going to have to deal with that. It's not going anywhere. So what a lot of people, and I would tell you, everyone who's having credit issues, you should be following Shonda Martin, Road to 750 Plus on Instagram, on TikTok. She's on every platform, and she teaches. She's basically the me of credit. All she does live Q&As. She can, go rapid fire Q&A. And when someone can sit on a live and answer questions on the fly, like random questions, that's when you know they're an expert in their subject. And I've seen her do that dozens of times. So you should be following her to see how to deal with that repo in the best way. But for sure, it's not going anywhere until you handle it. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. All right. This is called RAV4 EXL Premium versus CRV EXL. Which is better to negotiate discount with at a dealership? There's no way to know that. I know you want an easy way to see, which is going to give me the best discount. That's just not how it works. You have to shop the offers, and you have to see what the best offer is. If I'm shopping for a Honda, if I wanted a RAV4 EXL right now, I'm contacting dealers. I'm letting them know what I want. I'm reaching out to multiple dealers. I do it online. If you want to do it online, you can type the number 1 on Instagram or Facebook. I'll send you the discount link for my digital book, Cars from Home. You can use my scripts. All my email scripts, all my templates are in there, and you'll have the blueprint step by step. You can get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio or in the YouTube comments. If I was doing it manually, I'm calling and I'm getting multiple offers for this RAV4 EXL from multiple Toyota dealerships. And then I'll see, okay, the best Toyota dealer said they'll take off $4,000 from me. Okay, all right, cool. All right, now let me get the Honda deals done. So it's you don't know what it's going to be. Like give you an idea. This person, Kimberly here on her Maserati, she got a Maserati. She saved $20,000 off the price. I got the comment here. I got her post here that she posted with the details of her deal. $20,000 she saved on the price. She didn't know that she was going to save $20,000 on the Maserati. There's no way to know. You have to shop the offers, and this is why you can't feel for the bottom. You can't hope, I think we're at the bottom. I think this looks like it's good. No, you don't know that. You don't know how. You don't know. You just don't know. I know you're looking for an easy way to do it where you press a button, and it tells you this dealer here, this Honda dealer in Madison, New Jersey, is going to sell the Honda at the lowest price and give all the rebates. That'd be cool. It's not going to happen because no one dealer is going to always be the best anyway, or they'll be out of business. If you beat your competition every single time on every car, you're not making any money. You'll be out of business. So at the particular time you want to shop, the mission is to find the dealer who is going to sell you the car at the lowest price because every one of them is different. So that's what I would do. And if you use my way, you do it quick. When you're using online tools, you can do it quick. Look, Ansley got a car. He said right here, he got his what did Ansley get? He got an Infinity truck. He got a 2024 QX. He said, I started the process Saturday. I accepted the deal Monday. Got the car delivered on Thursday. One weekend. Started the process connecting with dealers on Saturday. Had offers coming in, accepted an offer on Monday. He got a 1% lease deal, $554 a month on a $58,000 vehicle. You can do this on new cars. You can do this on used cars. You have the internet as at your disposal. You just don't know how to use it. And you have you have two departments in car dealers. You have what I call the sales floor. That's who I used to work with, the sales floor. Then you have the internet sales department. The internet sales department is to try not to give you a price and to make people who are trying to shop online get frustrated so they eventually come in. That's the goal of the internet department. And you have to know that the reason why it's hard for you to get quotes online is because you don't know what to give a dealer to get quotes. You don't know, you got to give them your zip code so they can work the tax. You don't know, they need to know what vehicles are in your household. You're getting defensive. Hey, why are they asking me for this? Well, it's because they need this stuff. That's why in my templates, I give you this stuff. They need to know what cars are in your household. They need to know when your deadline is. They need to know what your zip code is. They need to know what credit they should assume. These are the things this is why, Deshone, I tried shopping online, but it was so hard. I know, because you don't know how to do it. And if you admit you don't know how to do it, then we can help. But without unlearning, without saying, you know what, I need to unlearn this stuff that I was taught, you're just going to keep repeating that. So that's why I'm bringing you this and showing you people who are just like you. You have to shop the offers. And once you do that and you learn how to do it in 90 minutes, you'll be like, oh, I can shop any offer I want. Any car I want, I can find out what the best offers are in 90 minutes. But we got to get you there. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up, brother. Unique Devo on Instagram. Car payoff 1 year. Should I trade it? 2015 still running. Well, it sounds to me like you want a new car. Look, the cost of replacement is expensive. If you're considering replacing your car, I always say it's always cheaper to keep it. It's always cheaper to keep it. If you can put, do you have a local mechanic? You should. Everyone who has a car, especially an older car, you should have a local mechanic. Why? Because a local mechanic is going to save you 50% off of what a dealership is going to go through. There's some people who religiously go to dealerships every time something on their car goes wrong or breaks. They go to the dealership. Even with engines. Yeah, Deshone, I put a new engine in and paid $10,000. Listen, local mechanics will actually save, they're worth their weight in gold. And so if I can keep my car running, that's what you want to consider. Now, you still owe money on this car. So you shouldn't be buying cars. You should be leasing cars. Because anyone who is replacing their cars while they still have a payoff should be leasing. That's a clear indicator. There's many indicators. I gave you one. If I'm not keeping the car 8 years, I should be shopping for a lease. If you historically replace your cars while they still have loans on them, you should be leasing, because you're paying all the time. You're never getting to what I call the reward stage, which is a paid off car that is not depreciating anymore, that's in your driveway. You can keep it. You can give it to a family member. It's just a dependable vehicle. You pay a little bit every year to keep it running, but you have hundreds of dollars every year that are thousands staying in your household because you don't have a car payment. That's the reward stage. You have to get there. And if you're like Deshone, I don't keep cars that long, then you are overspending and you should be leasing, paying low payments, cents on the dollar. My first lease, I paid $256 a month for it. $256 a month. I had a Pontiac G6, brand new car. I had a friend who was paying $500 a month. Bought a Toyota. Bought it. And that's cool. If I wasn't in the car business and if I didn't have my sales manager at the time say to me, hey, why don't you lease something? I wouldn't have known. I probably would have went and bought something too. But once I saw that, I'm like, wait, I'm paying half the price of my peers. I'm driving a brand new car, and it just kept going. I leased after that, I bought a Pontiac G6. I kept that for 6 years. I didn't know about the 8-year rule at the time. I bought it 6, 7 years. Then I leased a Infiniti Q. I got the G25. It was $325 a month. That was my best offer at the time. That was a $35,000 vehicle. Then I got an Infiniti Q50 when they first came out. That was a $44,000 vehicle. I paid $345 a month. Then I got another Q. I had three Q50s in a row. The next one was $365, and then the highest one went up to $390. I want to say $390. So yeah, $390. I never went over $400 a month. These are $45,000 vehicles. Then I got a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2018, $35,000 vehicle, $330 a month. They're lying to you. Like all of this stuff that they're programming you to, leasing is renting a car. Banks don't buy cars. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. Banks don't want cars on their books. Why don't banks want cars on their books? Because they're depreciating. And look, let's address this. Rick just said on TikTok, but leasing a vehicle only gives you minimal mileage. You pick the mileage on a lease, Rick. You pick the mileage, brother. Hold on. Turn off this. You pick the mileage. Let's get into some real misconceptions about this whole leasing thing. They give you the mileage. Anytime you've ever heard of somebody going over their mileage, if it wasn't a life change situation, like, I used to live close and then I now live far, it's because they wanted to save $20 a month. The payment for 10,000 miles a year was $380. The payment for 12,000 miles a year was $405. They said, you know what, give me the $380. And then get ridiculous. If I go over, I'll just buy the car. Horrible. Why would you buy a car that is not meant to be bought? When you look at the price to buy a lease out, it's not meant to be bought. They don't want you to buy it. They want you to give it back to them so that they can sell it as a